Welcome in. You have hit PayDirt once again. I am your host, PayDirt, with your host, Pay Saunders. What it do, Pay?
What's happening, my man? PayDirt. Let's try to get some of this money back, man. My pockets are dry after last weekend.
I'll tell you what, I actually did pretty good with my picks. Luckily, all the ones that we put together, I just used that parlay with just a little money on it, so it didn't hit me too bad. The individual bets I did much better on. I avoided some major upsets. I was been smart enough to stay away from my boys last weekend because they had it rough, both in college and pro football. Somebody please check on my boy Tim Lyons. Make sure he's okay. Notre Dame, Michigan, Bengals. So he and I had a rough weekend, Pay.
I remember when we was talking last week. We was like, man, we don't really like any of these bets on Saturday from a value standpoint. The only one we really talked about was Nebraska, Colorado. That one, I told you was a lot. That one came home.
That was my biggest bet of the week, by the way.
Mine too. If it wasn't for that, and some in-game betting on Texas, Michigan, I'd have been SOL, as the youngins say.
So you went chasing a little bit on those the in-game bet.
I had to. If it is a dangerous game, I do not advise it. But something told me that I need to get in on this because Saturday, as I was saying, the value wasn't there prior to kickoff. But oh man, all of those seemingly non-competitive games that we thought from a looking at the numbers, no, everything was close. Alabama against, I forgot who they was playing, Western Michigan or somebody, that was close into the end. Oregon, that was close to the end. Notre Dame got upset. It was terrible.
Good timing there, Pay. Tim chimes in here with worst weekend ever.
Sorry, Tim.
It happens.
Yeah, it certainly does. That's football for you.
I watched as the Texas Longhorns, Texas Longhorns,
shout out to
did
Mod.
exactly what he said they were going to do and picked on our cornerback Hill and just went to him over and over and over again. So yeah, it was a rough Saturday for sure. And then the Bengals made sure that I didn't enjoy my Sunday any more than I did Saturday.
Is it too late to get in on the Quentin Ewers Heisman bets?
I don't know. I wouldn't advise it, and here's the reason why. I talked to some Texas fans that were still unhappy after the win on Saturday and they still want to see Arch Manning in there because they say that Ewers doesn't push the ball down the field enough. His average throw this past weekend was under 5 yards downfield. So, he definitely took what the defense gave him. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have those kind of numbers all year or not. Wait to be seen. I think if you want to talk about exciting offenses out there, I really like what I saw at Tennessee.
Yeah, they gave NC State a shellacking.
Yeah, and that could be where you could find a dark horse, kind of a dark horse bet. I mean, I don't even remember seeing anybody from Tennessee on the DraftKings board.
As a matter of fact, just to close that loophole, Quentin Ewers is the favorite right now for Heisman, according to DraftKings.
So Tennessee has Nico Lamaleva. Don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm gonna mess it up.
Be careful, B. I care about you.
Yep, we're gonna leave it right there. He's plus 1250.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that might be my flyer. I was impressed with what I saw from him. But I digress. Let's get into these college football games before we start talking about the NFL. We got some college and NFL going on tonight. And I remember when the NFL didn't play on Fridays or Saturdays because there was high school and college football and they didn't play on these days. Now they're just like, you know what? We're taking all of these days. These are all ours.
Such a quaint time in America, right?
Yeah, we're just gonna take all the give me that. We I did talk about offline before we got going on here. South Alabama giving a Big Ten school 37.5 points, regardless if it's Northwestern or not. Tempting.
It is very tempting for that exact reason that you put out there. I don't know enough about South Alabama to want to risk it, but if there was ever a time to go blind betting, just back during the pandemic when we was just itching for any type of sport action and people were betting on Korean baseball, this will probably be one of those times that, you know what, I don't like the way they're disrespecting the Big Ten. I'm going to throw it out there.
Yeah, listen, 37.5 points is a lot of points. You got to think them big uglies can slow down the game a little bit. Tim says Northwestern still has a football team. They do. They have a temporary stadium right on Lake Michigan right now. They're building a new facility. I do not think I would want to play football in November on Lake Michigan. Just my 2 cents.
Well, the Bears have been doing it for 100 years, so.
Yeah. But we talked about some of the games being a little bit closer than we anticipated like this past week. And my first bet for college football is actually what I think is going to be a bounce back cover. I know there's a lot of change in Alabama. I know we just talked about not disrespecting the Big Ten, but I did not like what I saw in Wisconsin at all. I think Alabama is 16. I think it's a good spread, but I think they win that game by 21. So my first pick is going to be Alabama at Wisconsin, taking Bama and laying the points to the home team. What are your thoughts on that?
I actually have Alabama to cover this as well. I felt like Wisconsin has looked very bad for just out of the Power 5 teams. Power 5 conferences. I don't think anybody's looked as bad as Wisconsin. That east of Colorado. We'll talk about them in a second. Wisconsin, I think this is the right time. If you want to fade them, especially playing a team as respected as Alabama. I would go ahead and get that 6.
Yeah, Alabama still got a good recruiting class. I know they didn't have Nick Saban, but they do have proven coaching, and they do have still have a lot of 5-star athletes down there. So is that a segue into another talking point there with the Colorado Buffs playing Colorado State, 7-point spread?
Yeah, those Buffs. Remember that game last year, Colorado versus Colorado State? Had everybody up to 1 a.m. like, drinking the Deion Kool-Aid. Well, time for a rematch. I forgot what player on Colorado State said they had no business losing to Colorado last year because they don't think Colorado's a good team. They weren't, so he's right, but they did lose. However, I'm of the opinion Colorado got worse.
Ooh.
Colorado, to me, everything I've seen so far this season, it's only been 2 games, I know, but they don't look good. I think that off-season drama that they had, some of the reporting around the locker room culture, it's permeating onto the field. I don't think this is a very good football team on the field or coach. I don't think they're very good coached either. With that being said, I think Colorado is primed to get they lick back. What's the line on this one right now?
7.
I like C-State.
I don't disagree with you. I have a mentor that talks about kind of doing the basics, like getting back to basics in our sales, and he calls it blocking and tackling.
Right.
Just blocking and tackling. Don't overthink it. You don't need a trick play. Just blocking and tackling. And those are the two things I think Colorado struggles with the most right now. Blocking and tackling. And that's a recipe for disaster. Made me instantly think of how the Bengals played last week, but I'll leave that be. Yeah, I didn't have that one on my my slate, but I penciled it in. It's in pencil. It's not in pen. It's in pencil. I might have to agree with you there. They got to show me something. Colorado's not looking good. I had one that I was originally on. I was originally on this bet, and now I'm back off for a moment because of some news I heard coming out of Ann Arbor.
What's the news?
Over under is 47.5. And I thought, take that under. I haven't seen good offensive line play. I haven't seen good quarterback decision making. But the newest things I'm hearing out of Ann Arbor is that Jack Tuttle will be healthy and could be back to start this week. Because of that, he has a lot of good experience. He's played quarterback in the Big Ten very well. I think his decision making alone, getting the ball out to the right players, could jeopardize that over under 47.5. Because I really think that they need a get right game. And if he comes out and he's playing quarterback, I could see them throwing the ball around a little bit more, and not laying off the gas after abysmal couple weeks to start off the season. So I'm avoiding that game right now until I hear further.
I'm with you on that one. I'm gonna stay away from it too. And I just need to. What's that phrase you always say? I need to see more. This is one of those times.
Yep, need to see more. What else you got in college games?
So I'm scrolling the good old DraftKings board here, right? And what I'm looking at caught my eye for a second. Now, the ACC as a whole, no one's high on them right now, except Miami. A team, a school that's never won the ACC as long as they've been there. 20 some odd years now. They are 36-point faves against Ball State.
Testicle Tech.
So, do you think this is an example of the odds makers drinking Kool-Aid, or is this a legit line? Because it jumped off the screen to me.
Well, my gut says here is they really highly anticipate people wanting to bet Miami in this game, so they're trying to dissuade too large of movement on one side or the other. I've not checked where that money is, and of course it just asked me to update. That's great. I would assume it's mostly up on Miami, but
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's most of the money is on Miami.
88% is on Miami. That's the reason why it's up there.
All right. So with that knowledge, with that being said, everybody's pumping Miami. Everybody's high on Miami. don't want you to bet Miami. Is this a value bet for Ball State?
I mean, definitely could be. 36 is a lot of points.
Yes, it is.
The devil's advocate I would give is going to Miami in September can be rough on visiting players, especially from Indiana. So I don't know if they're ready for that kind of heat. I don't know exactly what it's going to. I'd have to look at the weather report down there. It's a lot of points.
I think I want to throw this one out there. I think I want to throw some money on Ball State. Maybe not a full unit, half a unit. See what happens. I'm gonna take this out of the final parlay. I'm gonna bet this separate, just to see. Because I don't, again, I don't want something like this to blow it for me. I'm gonna take this one, put it on the side. I want to let it ride, see what happens. Basically, what I'm saying is I ain't got that much belief in you, Hurricanes. Your name ain't Francine, so I don't care.
Yeah, boy, they've got, again, you talk about this, you got to see more. Miami Hurricanes are leading that charge over the past decade. They start off, they have good recruiting classes. They get off to a good start, and then it just seems like they just can't quite turn the corner on the season. I do like a game that's a little bit tighter on these spreads than what we've been seeing in this college game. Saturday at 3:30, I will be having some friends over this weekend because I'm not making the trip over to Michigan, and we're going to be watching the backyard brawl. West Virginia coming to Pitt, playing at Pitt at Acrisure Stadium. Pitt is +2. The money is very evenly spread in this game. I think it's about 55-45 last I checked. West Virginia with a slight edge in the money. I liked what I saw out of that freshman quarterback from Pitt last week. I think they've got some firepower on offense. With it being a home game, it's only an hour and a half from Morgantown, so it's if that. So it's not overly home, obviously, but you do have the friendly confines of your own house. I think Pitt wins this. I don't think West Virginia, from what I've seen so far this year, has enough firepower on offense. You saw what they did. They looked pretty terrible against Penn State and got blown out. And then Penn State struggles last week, right? Against who they have last week? They had somebody. Was it Bowling Green? Bowling Green they struggled against. So just when you start looking at those things and how they add up, I think the Pitt offense here is the reason why they win this game. I like Pitt +2.
Okay. Daring.
How about it?
All right. I've got nothing else for Saturday.
I got one other thing I want to ask you about. This was this is another game I've got in pencil right now. Saturday at 7:30. I like betting that night game on Saturday too. I won't be watching all of it because there's some big UFC fights. But I'm interested in Georgia at Kentucky. I'm not interested in that line. I'm interested in over 45 points. I think Georgia might score that themselves.
I like that. I think you should take that out of pencil.
You think that's a pen move?
I'm putting money on that one. In fact, yes. I'm just going to tell you right now. Yes. I like that. That's another good lock. I think it's time we find our new Iowa. The lock of the year last year was Iowa's offense hitting the under. I think the lock of the year this year is fading Florida.
Woo! I did look at this awful hard. -3.5 against Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
if it wouldn't have been in the swamp, I'd probably been all over this.
Yeah. I mean, we all know Florida's not going to be good.
Have
we all
they
know
drained
Florida's
the
not
swamp?
good.
Is what you're asking.
I don't think this. I think this is disrespectful to Texas A&M. I think they should go ahead and get that, man.
Something to keep an eye on. That's a 3:30 game as well, correct?
Yeah, 3:30. Texas A&M in this. Yeah, it's in the swamp, like you said. Over under 48.5. I would take Texas A&M to win outright. I don't know about the line, but Florida, they're not going to win too many games. Florida's probably going to be a 3-win, 4-win team this year.
So we got Texas A&M money line.
That's how I'm taking it.
If it was 2.5, you probably go straight Texas A&M.
Yeah,
that hook is rough.
It is. That is
3.5. That thing will get you. Never like it. We have the captain of the chat fam, Afton, in the house. Thank you for joining us, Afton. And thank you all for listening to us wherever it is you're listening. We are live now on YouTube. We normally are live on Wednesdays. I do want to apologize. I do not have our updates from last week on what our takes were. And I was not on here, able to get on yesterday because it is my busiest week of the year. We had a big food show with over 2,000 people at the food show yesterday. So great time to work, but a lot going on. So we're going to have to update those. We'll get you both of those updates next week. We're going to hear from our sponsors real quick.
Hold on one second, PayDirt.
You got another college game.
Before we switch segments, I got something was brought to my attention. That is not Northwestern.
Who is it?
It is Northwestern State.
Oh, big difference.
Big difference.
Now it makes total sense.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and take that out of the slip.
That
ain't a Big 10.
Well, I didn't have it in the slip. I still was just talking about that one. Yeah, keep your half unit. It doesn't make any sense. But yes, so we'll remove that. Wherever you're listening to us, if you're on Spotify, you're on Apple, wherever you get your podcast, if you're on YouTube, we're going to take a quick break here from our sponsors. We'll be right back with our NFL picks. Go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, share us, tell a friend to tell a friend where you're getting your good info and your value bets for your football enjoyment. And we will be right back. Welcome back to PayDirt. You have caught Pay Saunders and Brandon Harry, aka B Dirt. We've gone over our college picks, but there's still plenty of noise to be made from the NFL, including a game tonight.
It's that AFC rumble of the last few years. Ever since the Patriots dynasty collapsed, the two teams battling it out for supremacy in that division is Buffalo and Miami.
The cream of the AFC East crop right now, for sure. Those two teams,
for sure. Well, I mean, New England is undefeated. We ain't got to talk about that right now. But Tua's record against Buffalo in his career has not been very good. His stats, in fact, his stats are down across the board when he plays Buffalo. And it's pretty pedestrian, as a matter of fact. Now he's got him at home. Buffalo has retooled the entire roster. A lot of departures on offense, a lot of departures on defense since the last time they saw each other. I don't know. As of right now, the bookmakers, they all have Miami as a fave, man.
2.5 points.
Yep. I actually locked this bet in at 1.5, but neither here nor there. But as of right now, it's
what side of the aisle are you on?
So for me, it is a toss-up. I can see both arguments. Miami it's about time for them to beat the boogeyman. However, I don't think Miami is as good as they were last year. I think they're a little stale right now. They've got a lot of things happening off the field. Just put it like that. It's a short week for them. Both of their running backs are hurt. It's a lot of reasons to take Buffalo. Buffalo, on the other hand, as I just said, whole new team pretty much. It's just Josh Allen and James Cook and Dalton Kincaid. That's pretty much all you remember, all you know. All the heavy hitters are gone. So with that being said, I kind of still want to take Buffalo here.
We are on opposite sides of the aisle on this one.
What?
I'm telling you, it's 87 degrees and humid right now in Miami.
But it won't be a kickoff.
Listen, it still will be pretty sticky, we'll call it. I think the Dolphins, with what they've gone through in this past week, might have forged their team a little bit. And here's another thing I think McDonald and the front office did this past offseason that may have had you scratching your head a little bit when they did it originally in the draft. But now when you realize, Mostert is aging, Achane has had some injuries, and now you bring in Wright, the kid from Tennessee, who ran the fastest 40 for a running back last year. I expect him to fill in and do a really nice job. And I think if you don't have him picked up in your fantasy league, somebody if you can store on your bench and take a look at right now. I think he can start seeing some more play. Luckily, I haven't seen anybody from our league in the chat, so Pay and I can fight over that pickup. I like Miami here. Miami last year, I think it was, maybe the year before, Buffalo came down. They got off to a big league, and there was a big comeback that Allen led. But I don't see those things coming to fruition as far as big scores, big games, big comebacks. Stephon Diggs is not coming back through that door right now. I love the kid out of Florida State, but I think he needs
Shakur.
I think he needs a little bit more polish before. He needs let's talk about him in 6 to 8 games and see where his progress is. Right now, I don't expect a breakout game from him for those reasons. And, Milano again out for the season. Buffalo's got some holes. I like Miami at home to cover this one. I still think it's a 4 to 7 point game. I don't think it's a blowout, but I think 2.5. I like Miami. If it was 3.5, I'm out. But I like 2.5. I like Miami on this one. Okay.
All right. So you got Miami to win. I'm officially for the show, I'm staying away from the game. It's a little too close to call. Like I said, I did personally lock it in at 1.5 as the Dolphins' favorite. That was too good for me to not take it. So
I dig it.
Officially, I'm gonna push. I'm gonna stay away from this one.
So I know you have a few more NFL games than I do this week, and we already had one in the same. So what do you got next for us, Bay?
San Francisco. Talk about unhealthy teams. They're engine. They're diamond in the chest of Tony Stark, as you will. Christian McCaffrey not going to play again this week. And if he does, how much run do you think he's going to get? They're going to be extremely careful with him whenever he does come back. With that being said, Minnesota is not the same type of overrated defense that the New York Jets is. That's exactly right. I'm calling it right now. The New York Jets defense under Robert Saleh, overrated. It used to be good. It's overrated now. Look how many times they've given up close to 30 points in the last 5 to 10 games. Just check it out. Good defenses don't do that. With that being said, I think Minnesota at +6 is a great value pick for this weekend.
Is that still? Is it +6 now?
No, as of right now, DraftKings updated to +5. I still like it. +5. San Francisco's got a fly across up to the Midwest, the upper Midwest. Beat me by a touchdown. Let's see it. You won't be able to run. You won't be able to run the ball like that again. You got the Brock Purdy's going to show up. And you remember last year when they came to play the Vikings beat them with Christian McCaffrey, a healthy Christian McCaffrey. I kind of like the odds again. I got the Vikings +5.
Man, we're not seeing eye to eye this week, Pay. So this was also a game I had picked. San Francisco beat the Jets 32-19 last week. The concerns that I might have had with Christian McCaffrey are now only on my fantasy football team that I picked him first overall. And here we go again. After telling you I wasn't going to pick him first overall, that I was going to take Breece Hall, and I did not.
Stand firm, PayDirt. Gotta be firm.
Well, when you name your team White Boy of the Year,
you kind of have to, right? I
kind of got to take Christian McCaffrey
and Josh Allen. Don't forget him too.
So I don't have concerns anymore because I got Jordan Mason's stat line: 28 carries, 147 yards, 5.2 per carry, a touchdown, and caught a pass for 5 yards as well. I think he's getting the job done just fine in San Francisco. I watched that San Francisco Jets game. Brandon Ayuk, a little rusty. I thought Jennings did a great job. Debo was Debo. I expect better things out of Brandon Ayuk. He definitely dropped a touchdown pass and a couple balls where he just normally would catch the ball, did not. I expect him to play better. I expect Sam Darnold to play worse. So because of those two things, I think the 49ers win this one by 10.
I agree. Ayuk did look rusty. And that pitch count definitely, is something to keep an eye on. But I think you may help my point a little bit. There's always a regression to the mean, especially in this realm, in gambling. You don't bet your highs because you know that high is coming back down. Jordan Mason when you watch that game, wide open holes. That's not going to be the case on Sunday. Jordan Mason's there. Even Shanahan knows how to scheme up some good runs. I give you that. 147, that's coming down. I guarantee that.
I agree.
100%, right?
But I think those passing stats are going to go up.
They have to. Because for one thing we know about Brian Flores' defense, at least while he's been in Minnesota, he's coming for you. Those run lanes are not going to be open. And Brock Purdy's going to have to get rid of the ball very early. That gives you the opportunity to see more Debo action. So if there's something out of this game that I did like on the San Francisco 49ers side, it would be some Debo over whatever his receptions is right now. That'll be the one thing I could take from it. But as far as the game, I'm pretty sure I'm good with Minnesota covering the 5.
All right, we agree to disagree again. Give me that next one. Let's try not to disagree on this one again.
All right. The next one I got for Sunday. Green Bay and Indianapolis. Green Bay. I've always got nice things to say about them.
Yeah, love affair, one would say.
Yeah, some would say that. Malik Willis is starting against a rookie quarterback. I have no idea what to expect from that previous sentence. Malik Willis might still be a rookie quarterback.
Malik Willis is only, a couple weeks in Green Bay? He got boxes that aren't even unpacked yet, Pay.
Correct. He might not need to unpack them if he plays anymore the same way. If the rumors are true about them trying to go get Ryan Tannehill, yeah, keep them things boxed up. You're not going to be staying for long.
I hope he's renting.
Would you lean towards the Colts to win straight up with that quarterback situation going on in Green Bay?
I like them. I like the Colts in this game. I really like the Colts on the money line on this game.
I do as well. Just from that standpoint, that line is still a little, based on what I said about, rookie quarterback. He had the highlight machines all in the tizzy over the last weekend because he could just cannon.
And he still completed less than 50% of his passes and missed wide open plays.
Exactly. Rookie quarterback, ups and downs. Malik Willis, there's a reason why he's on the second team and he's not even out of his rookie contract yet. It's a little fishy, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't bet any numbers. I wouldn't bet any lines on this game. If it was anything, I feel very more certain about where the Colts are as a team versus where the Packers are as a team. Mm-hmm. I would rather bet the Colts straight up to win on the money line.
Yep, I agree with you.
All right, there's our agreement.
Look at that. We're back.
Yeah. All right, this one might send us right back. Those New England Patriots that you got a whole lot of last Sunday.
Ooh.
Man, let me tell you something. I hate the Cincinnati Bengals at this point right now. They beat me in 3 survival pools. They killed 3 parlays of mine. And I just needed. Well, Ramondre Stevenson is one of my running backs on the fantasy team that we have in our league, right? Mm-hmm. So it was bittersweet. Every time I went through the Sunday ticket and I go to the Cincinnati New England game, I'm like, Ramondre Stevenson still got the ball. When is the Cincinnati Bengals going to get on offense? Because they need to score. It's just the clock just keeps moving, and the Patriots still has 9 points. When are they going to get the ball? I don't think I saw Brissett throw the ball at all, and so they blew it for me every which way.
Yeah, so, that was a stay away game for me. You know, they say styles make fights. Mm-hmm. And the Cincinnati Bengals gave up a league worst, I should say, 4.7 yards per rush attempt last year. They were true to form with Stevens, I think, was at 5.4 this past week. Mm-hmm. Zach Taylor's 1-10 in weeks 1 and 2 in his career as a head coach. Mm-hmm. And he continues to do the same thing year after year after year, not playing any of the starters together in any of the preseason. Then they come out, they're not on the same page. They look lethargic. They're running more of a vanilla offense. They had very little motion in their offense. It was hard to watch.
Very. I'm going to steal a line from you and your Running Through the Jungle co-host. It ain't run the damn ball. It's stop the run.
Yeah. 100%.
With that being said, this game is about the Patriots and the Seahawks. I said the Patriots are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Now that they're 1-0, am I backing off of that? I don't know. I've heard some other people want to back off that claim. They might be pretty good because Gerard Mayo, former player, new head coach of the Patriots, he established some culture. The defense is still sort of good. They've still got some remnants of what they used to be under Bill Belichick. And you saw they can run the ball. Ramondre Stevenson he's healthy. And when he's healthy, he's pretty damn good. Is there any way they can push this to 2-0? I don't see it. I think Seattle wins this game. Now, Seattle, they looked okay this past Sunday. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. They were running. They were doing their thing. Kenneth Walker's a little banged up right now, but Zach Charbonnet, he's always ready to fill in. He's ready to take Kenneth Walker's spot.
Good 1-2 punch there.
Very probably one of the best in the league. So, but it is a flight. They got to get on a long flight to get to Boston. I think we overrate the flight times a little bit sometimes in football.
Good call.
But it is still a thing. I don't know, man. I want to believe that New England is going to be bad, and they might still be bad. You could be good in September, still be a bad team by the time January hits. But as of right now, I cannot not give them a puncher's chance. Maybe not to win the game, but that 3.5 that they're getting.
You like that hook?
That hook, you say it all the time. The hook is something. 3.5. Now, if it was just 3 or less, okay. 3.5. You've got my attention now.
I could see that. Kevin Tate in here pouring salt in the wound. He said, "Yeah, the Patriots cost you that homie survival pool."
Yeah, we talked about that already. We're progressing now. We're on to something else now. 3.5. I'm going to take that. And one of the things I always say, you can make your lotto ticket, but always play smart. Certain things you need to hedge your bet with, and this is one of those things I'm going to hedge. I'm going to take this separately, and I'm going to put it in the ticket as well.
I dig it. I think because of I like Seattle in this, and because of that hook, I'm leaving it off. So I could see why you'd be tempted to take New England with that 3.5. It's just not for me.
No, that's smart. I'm gonna be a little risky. I'm gonna risk no biscuit.
I feel like Seattle, again, you touched on it. Their running game looked good last week. Their passing game wasn't quite firing on all cylinders. I think with JSN and DK Metcalf having some of those pieces, I think that'll start getting going a little bit better. So that's the reason why I'm kind of hesitant to do that. Now, I will say there is a team out there that I don't expect to get the passing game together. And then you start hearing comments in the locker room at post games and whatnot. When your rookie wide receiver says, "Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on back there," talking about the pocket, talking about your quarterback.
Don't do it.
Danny Dimes is broken.
Oh, man.
I think the Commanders get their first win of the season. They had some Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde moments last week. I think you're going to have that some with a rookie quarterback. But overall, I just trust that they'll make enough big plays versus the Giants that at -2 on a home game, I think they pulled this one out for the Giants to beat them by more than 3 points.
I said earlier that the Jets were overrated and they might be garbage. Let me tell you something. New York city block, city curb, city corner, it doesn't discriminate against trash.
Which is also in New Jersey, oddly enough, but I digress.
Same thing. Well, it's just over the what river is that? The Hudson River?
Hudson, yeah.
It's all dirty. Dip your toe in the Hudson, you're going to catch about 27 diseases. As far as the New York G-Men and the DC football team, I agree with you. I think they're closer to their first win than the G-Men were. The G-Men were 1.5-point dogs going into Minnesota and got eviscerated. They looked no good in any aspect of that game. I turned that game off pretty early, like, oh, this is over. No need to concern myself with it. It's going to be a long season for New York. I'm adding this to the parlay.
Yeah, I agree with you, and just the bickering and stuff that's going on now in the clubhouse, it's going to get worse before it gets better. is where I see the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm. Let me say something, man. So New York has 2 quarterbacks that are locker room cancers. That's what you're saying? I agree with you. I agree with you, B. Next game. I didn't have to say it. You said it, but I agree. Next game. Oh, circling back. We moved on a little bit too fast. I like the under in that Pats Seattle game too. That's more of a I think that's more of a sure bet. Yeah. 38. I like that. Another one. This one's a little bit more spicy. Tampa Bay, Detroit Lions, 2-1 in those teams. Baker looked good. The line, 7. They got Tampa Bay as a 7-point dog. 7.5 now. When I wrote this out, it was 7. Now it's 7.5. Baker looked good.
He looked really good.
Really good. There's a team in the Midwest, in the off the Lake Erie, that wishes they had Baker as a quarterback. I'm not going to say any team names. I think you know who I'm talking about. They look
at
like
least
poop.
Baker would stay out of the news for inappropriate things.
Yeah, Baker would definitely do that. The only thing you would ever get tired of Baker doing is being front and center during commercials. Other than that, Baker's fine. But can Baker cover the 7.5?
You like that hook?
I think 7.5 is a little bit rich. Detroit, we all like Detroit. But are they 7.5 better than Tampa Bay right now? I don't know, dog. I don't know. I liked what I saw out of Tampa Bay this weekend. I like what I saw out of Tampa Bay more than I like what I saw out of Detroit. Detroit looked like their offense is a little bit maturing a little bit. They're not being as risky. They're running the ball a lot more. Maybe it's just a facet of who they were playing. We shall find out as time goes on. But if we're going to follow the trend, 7.5 point dog for Tampa Bay does not smell right to me.
I get that premise. I have this one. I'm going to avoid this one. And could it be a little bit of I have a soft spot for Detroit? Sure, I'll give that to you. Also, I want to pair with that I thought the 2 teams that played last Sunday night are 2 of my top picks to be represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So being a 26-20 game against the Rams, I really think the Rams are better than people are giving credit for. I think they're really going to push the 49ers. So I think those are 2 of the top 3 or 4 teams in the NFC. Is there a letdown is my question. Is there a letdown from Detroit coming off that Sunday night game at home? And Tampa Bay's still got some good weapons on offense. A couple of them are a little long in the tooth, but I mean, Evans still looks like a monster. Mm-hmm. Maybe lost a half step, but he still can catch some 50-50 passes. So I can't talk my way into either one of these sides. I'm going to stay off of it, but I get why you would take that hook.
No, I'm going to stay away from it for everything that you said for it. But only thing I would say, emotional sports is a thing. They were riding a very high emotion with Matt Stafford coming back, primetime game, home opener, all of those things. Now you're coming back next week over. It's hard to get back up, pause, for the game. And for that very reason, I mean, listen, I'm just give you what I'm seeing. 7.5 is a bit rich. If you want to take it, you go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm off of that one.
All right. We got a couple more, man, before we gotta make our final wagers. I'm looking at the Jets in Tennessee. I've got 2 from this game. I got the under 42 and Tennessee +4. How do you feel about that? The line is now 41.5. I still like the under.
I don't trust these teams enough to bet this one. And I truthfully did not watch the Titans game.
I did.
I know you did. So I think you have a little bit better idea of what's going on. I do understand that there was one of the worst passes made in NFL history at that game. But for me, I'm going to set this one out.
Now, I did say earlier that the Jets defense might be a little overrated. I still stand firm on that. But I don't believe the Jets defense is better than what Chicago can offer. I don't believe Tennessee's Titans offense is that bad. Although Will Levis, he did do something dumb. I don't expect him to do dumb stuff every week. I mean, he's not Deshaun Watson. But 41 points is risky. Plus four for Tennessee. I think it's worth consideration. You know, just from what we saw from New York when they played San Francisco, and I get it. Aaron Rodgers always looks bad against San Francisco. I get it. And San Francisco can make you look bad no matter who you are. I get that too. But they looked extremely bad. So if it's a toss-up for you, check that out. No pressure.
They have to get Breece Hall going in order for their offense to look correct. I mean, and that's really the bottom line to me.
All right, I've got one more that needs consideration. Pittsburgh, Denver. The one I'm looking at from this game.
The last one on my list too.
You know what I'm looking at in this game, right? We said we needed a new Iowa. Under. Yeah. 36.5, baby. Come on home. That under was secure last week. I had no doubts. 42.5 for Atlanta and Pittsburgh. That was an easy bet. I didn't even have to watch that.
And Denver's got a nice young defense too.
And a terrible young quarterback.
And a quarterback didn't throw the ball over 5 yards the whole game.
42 attempts, 130 yards complete. 130 yards in total passing yards.
I listen. I think that the Broncos may be able to figure out the offense a little bit better down the road. I do. Week 2 is not the week that I think that they're going to get that curl turnover. I like this bet from you.
Under 36.5 is about the surest thing we talked about all hour. What about the line? Pittsburgh's a 2.5 point fave on the road in Mile High.
I don't trust the Bo Nix thing. This is one of those games that I feel like Tomlin figures out a way to win, like 16-6.
Something like that sounds about right. I would definitely. This is one of those Tomlin games, right? I'm looking for the props for total sacks. No Diddy, but I would definitely take the over on Watt, Hayward, mind you, sacks. They're usually at a half. I'll probably take the over. I think they can get the young mix.
I like that. We got Talk Sports with JT. Fellas, first-time viewer, welcome. We appreciate your support. Afton says she doesn't know who the Steelers quarterback's going to be. I do know that either one of them is still better than Bo Nix. Tim Lyons said it's a trap game for Pittsburgh.
Trap game? Who do they play next week? Do they play the Browns next week? I'm not sure. I don't know about it being a trap game, but I do know this is one of those games that is. I'm not looking for a lot of offense. I don't. As we said,
the Chargers the following week.
I wouldn't call it a trap game.
I mean, they start their season off with the Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, and Colts.
Yeah. We talked about the quarterbacking play in Denver being leaving a lot to be desired. The quarterback play in Pittsburgh leaves a lot to be desired. The offense in total leaves a lot to be desired. The under, I like that.
But if they have 6 field goals, if they get a couple of touchdowns out of the game, I think that's a good way to get this game a W and get it out of the way quick.
Yeah, agreed. And whatever the sack over under is for Hayward, and TJ Watt, I'll take the over. All right.
I really like Watt.
Let's look at what we've got. All right. So we've got 8 on here. Let's run it down. We've got Alabama minus 16, Colorado State plus 7. Wait, we didn't agree. Did we agree to that one?
Yep.
All right. Colorado State plus 7. Ball State plus 36. That's a me special. Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh plus 2 facing West Virginia, and over 45 for Georgia at Kentucky. That's what we got for Saturday. Now mixing in Sunday. Colts money line against the Packers. Patriots plus 3.5. That's a me special as well. Commanders 2 points to cover the spread. Under 38.5. Seahawks at the Patriots. Under 36.5. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Denver Broncos. Sound good, B?
Yeah, I would probably break this up as a college football parlay and a NFL parlay.
Oh, no doubt. So I forgot the Texas A&M. You didn't want that one, so I'll leave that out. So you know how we do. I don't like long sheets like this. I would break it up as well. But for people watching, let's give our S5. Which ones do you want to take out?
I would probably take out the Colorado State. I would take the Pitt game out first, just because that's a rivalry game. Those are a little bit harder to judge and quantify. So I'd probably take the Pitt game out, to be honest with you.
You got 2 more to get rid of. Actually, no.
I could. Geno, here's I'm looking at it right. I would say Geno is one of those quarterbacks, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Could I see him getting hot with DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigma and having a couple game-breaking long touchdowns? Maybe take that one on. I like, if you're going to have an under, I like the Steelers under better.
Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that Seahawk Patriot under. That's out of there. All right, 3 more to go.
What do you think? What are your thoughts here? You see anything sticks out?
Ball State. Ball State is a little bit more hairy. No, Daddy. Than the other one. I will go ahead and remove that one.
Man.
I will keep that separate somewhere else where it doesn't hurt me as much. All right. Now we've got 7 pick parlay. Got to get rid of 2 more. So I like that. This was my lock for the weekend. Under 36.5, Pittsburgh at Denver. I'm leaving that. What about the Washington Commanders -2 versus New York?
Okay, rookie quarterback also can be volatile. I do get that too. If we want to bet that as a solo and avoid the parlay, I get that.
All right. Which one do you like more? The Colts money line or the Commanders -2?
I like the Colt money line, I think.
Me too. All right. Last one we got to dodge. We got 3 picks from Saturday. We got 3 from Sunday.
Oh, I really like that Georgia over.
Yeah, me too. I think that's my second easiest.
I'm gonna toss up between those top 2, Colorado State or Bama.
Really?
What else do we have? We got the Colts. I like the Colts.
Mm-hmm. Colts, Patriots spread 3.5. I think that's one. You were waiting on that one.
Maybe we didn't agree on that one, so maybe the Patriots one.
All right, so now we got our best five. Best five of the weekend. We've got Alabama -16 over Wisconsin. Over 45 for the Georgia at Kentucky. Colorado State +7. And then we come into the NFL Sunday. We have Indianapolis Colts money line and the under 36.5 for Pittsburgh and Denver Broncos. Good.
I like. What's the one above the Colts?
That's over 45, Georgia and Kentucky.
Yep, I love it.
All right, so that is a total odds of is plus 2,165.
Woo!
So do some quick math in your head. I'm not gonna tell you what my unit is, but quick math in your head. Whatever your number is, it's not a bad. One unit can turn into 22 units.
Yeah, when you're starting to look at a 22-1 odd, I mean, you hit one of those a season and you're good. You hit two of those a season and you're real good.
Yeah.
I like this one too. This one's good. This one's hitting the bank.
I do as well. All right, B. Great show.
If I do say so myself.
As always. We've got some pump your braking to do very soon. We got to get our drinks together, put our feet up, and watch some entertainment.
And get that cash.
As always.
Get that cash. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. Every week we're going to be here. We're going to be doing it live. It's normally going to be Wednesday. I do apologize once again. We will be Wednesday at 6:30 on the regular. So if you guys want to catch us live, that's where you're going to do it. Feel free to come over if you got any questions. Put them in the chat. We're interested to hear from you, what games you're looking at too. So, other than Tim avoiding the Broncos game, we don't care about that. But please check us out. We'll be at the Homies on Friday. We got some good stuff going on there. We're going to check out who had the best picks of the week. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but they're definitely on this show. So check us out on Friday, and then check us out every Wednesday, 6:30. You can reach us as we hit PayDirt.